Welcome in the latest episode of the Ben and Pitch Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Real_G Warner. It is late night with Real_G Warner as always. Actually, been trying to do it a lot less late, but it's past midnight on the now 3rd of March here in the United States, and we're going to go through the English Premier League's midweek action. We have Spain, Copa del Rey semifinals. We have Coppa Italia first legs in Italy, second legs in Spain. Then we have the Coupe de France quarterfinals, and that'll do it for this episode. Get a best bet end of show. Thank you for all the new subscribers, 256 now on YouTube. Appreciate that. At the Real_G Warner there. Betting the Pitch Apple Podcast and on Spotify, and of course at the Real_G Warner on Instagram and on Twitter. Let's start where the money is. That's the English Premier League, and I will make a nomination from each of the leagues for my best bets. We're going to do this episode quick and dirty. Try to get us out of here as quickly as possible because I need to go to sleep. We'll start here with Bournemouth hosting Brentford on Tuesday. It's a 2:30 Eastern time start. Currently Bournemouth a pick'em with all the juice right now at home. Total in this one is 3, juiced very heavily to under at the moment, 16-cent lines at BetOnline and SportsBet.ag. If you don't have an account at either of those places, hit me up and I will refer you. You can get some free money and get 16-cent Premier League lines, which you're not going to get anywhere in this sport that just juices you like crazy. With that said, Bournemouth have not been good defensively for a long time. Totals feels like they're getting a little bit smaller with them, so maybe they figured something out. But Brentford is the side I want here. There's not a quarter goal underdog yet, so I'll move on to the next. Everton hosts Burnley. Currently, Everton a 1-goal favorite. Almost all the juice is on Burnley away from home, which reflects, I think, Everton's difficulty scoring goals. Total is 2.5 in this one, which also reflects their difficulty scoring goals. But I'm pretty interested in an under with Everton every time they play. And there's nothing really that's going to change that, especially with Burnley, a newly promoted side. They're going on the road trying to defend as much as possible. Under 2.5 looks very interesting to me there. Moving next to Leeds hosting Sunderland. Currently Leeds a half-a-goal favorite with a couple more cents of juice at home to another newly promoted. Total in this one is 2.25, juiced very heavily to over. And these two teams started off in very different positions. Leeds have played a lot better lately. Sunderland have kind of been struggling. I think under is probably a good idea for Sunderland traveling to try to keep this as low scoring as possible to be as competitive as they can. And that kind of plays alongside. I don't know that I really like the side as much on Sunderland, though I don't really trust Leeds to score many goals. Move next to Wolverhampton Wanderers in a late window, 2:15 Central Time, 3:15 Eastern Time on Tuesday, the 3rd of March. We have Wolves, 1.25 goal underdogs at home with all the juice right now at home to Liverpool. Total is 3 in this one, juiced pretty heavily to under. Pick your poison. Do you think Wolves defense and Wolves interest and Wolves trying to stay in this league, though they've been pretty much deceased or at least confirmed or expected to be relegated for a long time now? Liverpool on the other side, they're playing better. They switched to a more defensive brand of football because they just couldn't defend at all. I do think that kind of plays into the unders hands a little bit. I do love home underdogs when I like unders. Probably lean to the under 3 a little bit more with that push on 3. The Wolves are a little bit bigger than I made it, so I guess I like underdog and under. Might need to hold my nose on that one. Moving to Wednesday, we'll start with Chelsea visiting Aston Villa as a favorite here, coming off of their match with Arsenal this weekend. Aston Villa a pick'em, all the juice on Chelsea right now, though, which I got to say I'm very interested in Aston Villa at those type of prices. Love them at home. Villains have been great there. Unai Emery's been great to me and my family. Total in this one is not the first half spread. Total this was 2.75, just a little bit more to over. And that probably reflects Chelsea's offensive abilities and they're a talented team. I don't know necessarily that I agree that they should be favored on the road, but Aston Villa certainly want to play a low-scoring game, so that's the way I would lean toward under, though I think I want that full 3. Moving next to Brighton hosting Arsenal in that same time window. Brighton 3/4 goal underdogs with all the juice right now on the road on Arsenal's favorite and leaders in the Premier League. Total this one's 2.5, and it's juiced very heavily to under. That reflects Arsenal's style of game and also potentially that Brighton don't score enough. I think I need a full goal of insurance on Brighton. We might get that before kickoff, but total doesn't look like it's getting into 3, and that's kind of what I was hoping for as well. Move next to Fulham hosting West Ham United. Currently Fulham half-a-goal favorites right now. All the juice on the road team, West Ham United. Minus 122, so getting plus 106 on the home team to win in regulation. Total this was 2.75, just a couple more cents to under. I think that reflects a little bit higher for total than I was expecting. Fulham been getting a little bit of respect lately. I just don't really trust them to score many goals. So I do think West Ham United are a little bit bigger of an underdog than I expected them to be. That push is important. Excuse me, there's no push offered, but a win on a result is important, a full win, and that's, I guess I was expecting a between 1/2 and quarter of a goal underdog, so I guess we're right about there. Total, I'll lean under. Would love to get a 3, but doesn't look like it's coming either. Moving next to Manchester City, hosting Nottingham Forest. Currently, Man City, a 1.25 goal favorite with all the juice. Total in this one is 3, and it juiced very heavily to under. Parting with David Moyes and bringing Vitor Pereira, I just don't really understand. And going on the road to Manchester City is going to be really hard to play, and I think you'd want to play a Sean Dyche brand of football there. But I guess I'm forever going to be into that guy, and maybe everyone hates me for it, but I feel pretty good. I sleep well at night despite that all. So at this point for me, I've been very impressed by what he's done, and I think it was a mistake to get rid of him. I don't think Vitor Pereira is anything good. He had a good run with Wolves when they were a disaster, but it's really because the rest of the teams in the Premier League last season were worse, and so it made any sort of points that you got, you looked a lot better than the promoted side. So I just don't know if I believe in that. I'll just put it this way. Pep Guardiola against him is not even in the same universe. So move next to Newcastle and Manchester United, the late matchup on Wednesday. Newcastle, a pick'em at home because everyone has completely fallen in love with Michael Carrick and how Manchester United has been playing, including a win over Manchester City. I don't buy it. Manchester United certainly have talent and spent money for years. But they have to go to St. James's Park, and that's not an easy place to win. I'm with absolutely no insurance in Manchester United. I don't know who's backing them there, but I'll wait and see, and hopefully more money comes in because I'll be backing Newcastle in that matchup most likely. To Thursday, then we'll move on to the other leagues that we're going to cover on tonight's episode. We'll start with Tottenham, quarter goal favorites right now at home to Crystal Palace. All the juice still on Palace. Looks like they might fall to pick them. Total's 2.75. This one juice very heavily to under. That's my biggest interest just because I don't expect Oliver Glasner to find a way to score goals. He will defend. Tottenham are just lost, and the marketplace is completely soured and really is just betting against them as much as they possibly can. If Tottenham closes a pick them to lowly Crystal Palace, who sold off all their players and all their talent, basically, I mean, that's a new low. But I guess Tottenham's been setting them for a while now, so maybe that's not big of a deal. From the English Premier League on this episode as a nominee for ultimate best bet, I'm going to go with Newcastle at home. I can't really agree with them only being a pick 'em at home. Yes, I know Manchester United have been playing really great, and they have all the backing, and lots of money goes their direction, of course, as well, all those sort of things. But Newcastle are too cheap at home. We'll move now to Spanish Copa del Rey, as I'm wearing a Real Sociedad. It's not really a kit. I guess it's more of a polo, but weird, I guess. Collar type. I met this girl in it, and she made fun of me, said it was too tight. So I guess I can only wear it on podcast now. But Real Sociedad, I mean, they were great in the opener. We'll start, though, with Barcelona and Atletico Madrid as they flip-flop when these matches are played. This was initially the Wednesday matchup. Barcelona losing 4-0 to Atletico Madrid, including going into halftime with that score, which is unbelievable. But did have Atleti plus 1/4 of a goal in that one. Wish I just played the money line, but it was a good win, and we'll take wins at this point in the season. So we'll start with this number. Barcelona 1.25 goal favorites despite being down 4-0 on aggregate. Total in this one is 3.75, which is pretty heavily to over. I expected the total to be higher. I expected the side to be higher. I don't know if that's disrespect for Barcelona. They're not taking this one so seriously because they have such a big deficit to overturn. The problem is Atletico Madrid lose 3-0 and they're celebrating, and that's nowhere near plus 1.25. So that's not really great for me in this type of situation. I guess, if anything, longtime Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/real_G Warner for all my plays across all sports, including the Major League Baseball season coming up. Kill the Futures were perfect last season, entering the season. And then also, of course, March Madness is coming up for longtime college basketball people. But to advance number right now, Barcelona, or excuse me, what I was going with is longtime Patreon subscriber Joe Dollars loves that I never back overs or just wants me to completely change. I cheated to change its spots. They don't do that, though. Sorry, Joe. But I do like over 3.75 here because I think we see a lot of goals, fireworks in this matchup. Barcelona playing a high line. Atleti has already pierced it 4 times in that first leg. I think Barca's going to score a bunch in this matchup at home, trying to advance to the Copa del Rey final, especially without Real Madrid in it. But speaking of the 2 advanced number, we've climbed from Barcelona an incredible minus 287, which was dropping all the way until kickoff, then came up a little bit more towards right before kickoff, I guess, on the 11th of February when I was tracking this way back when. But now Atleti are minus 1250 to advance from a plus 235. Barca from minus 287 to plus 643. Those are 150% gains almost, or changes on the Barca side. Incredible, but that's what happens when you're down 4-0. But they're still offering this number, so there's some belief that I guess that Atletico Madrid could choke this one up. Moving to Wednesday, we'll go Real Sociedad as I'm wearing their logo, their crest. They're quarter goal favorites at home to Athletic Club Bilbao. And this is 1-0 Real Sociedad on the road in Bilbao. And the first leg here did play under there, so that was a good win for the team. Total is 2.25, juiced more to the over. I think that reflects Athletic Club needing a goal. But honestly, I don't see a lot of goals being scored in this matchup whatsoever. Real Sociedad have been playing awesome ever since they hired American not international. I don't think he ever played for the national team, but an American, Pellegrino Matarazzo, who had been all over the German Bundesliga, was great with Stuttgart, kept them in the league a couple seasons, brought them up basically, and held them up. Had some time at Hoffenheim. Didn't go great, and his run at Real Sociedad has been awesome. Maybe unlocking a sleeping giant potentially, but one that was not playing well for about a year or a year and a half probably. But Athletic Club, I just can't trust them to score goals. I think Real Sociedad are happy to defend. Might even win this matchup. So I'm less interested in Athletic Club as an underdog on the road, even though they need to win, and a draw, you'll win a bet, and they will be celebrating. The home team will be the favorite, a non-cover, but that's not for me in that one, I don't think. Under's very interesting, though. As for the two advanced numbers, currently, Real Sociedad are minus four. Well, not something English, minus 540 to advance from a minus 120 number, a climb of about 78%. Athletic Club have gone from even money to plus 361, a jump of 72% the other direction. But I think Real Sociedad will advance or I guess the best bet option for this episode, a nominee for later in the show, I will go Real Sociedad Athletic Club under 2.25 goals. Move now to the Coppa Italia, and we have this is the first legs of the Coppa Italia semifinal round. Want to give the background, as you'll probably hear me across all competitions with multiple legs. The first legs are usually a lot more conservative. Didn't really see that in Barca and Atletico Madrid, but that is a Barca style, and I don't think we'll see that across much of the rest of this. But we'll go into Italy right now. We'll start with Como hosting Inter Milan. Como's been the darling of the Serie A market for a long time. It's incredible that they're here. Home leg to Inter, currently a pick 'em right now with all the juice on Inter. Just shows a lot of love for Como. Also, Inter really struggling lately, especially in Champions League, exiting to Bodo Glimt. Total this one's 2.25, juice all the way to over. Como have been great at possessing the ball and not really conceding any goals, or just don't really score that many. That's their big problem, why they're not so high up in the Italian Serie A table. I think that matters here. So under is my biggest interest in that one, I got to say. Inter Milan, I mean, we know they have the firepower to score a ton of goals, but they don't do it as much as I think a lot of us would expect. And they're great at defending because they really control games. Now, Como want the ball, Inter want the ball. I think the fight is out there. And I do think that Inter will advance because I think they're the best club in Italy. But at this point, their confidence certainly has to be shaken from their elimination of the Champions League after making last year's final. And honestly did not deserve to be playing that early in the competition, but got screwed by referees in multiple matches that should have been at least draws. It turned to losses against Atletico Madrid and against Liverpool. But, things happen, and now they got to go on and focus on either winning the Coppa Italia and the Scudetto, the Italian Serie A, which would be great for me as I've got a plus 265, I think, number out there, at least. Definitely some good odds from them who've been leading this whole dang time. But this is certainly a spot where they could slip up on the road at Como. I think we see a low-scoring game under 2.25. Looks very interesting on Tuesday. As for the other part of the semifinal, two kind of surprise teams here. Lazio quarter goal underdogs at home to Atalanta. A little bit more juice on the Atalanta side here. Total is 2.25. Also in this one, juiced very heavily to over. Same total in both. I think we see a low-scoring game here as well. I think I trust Lazio as a home underdog more, especially with Atalanta playing Champions League last week and then a match this weekend. Lazio not playing Europe, but were able to add to their squad in January after a transfer ban this summer. I think that all kind of points the same direction. Two advanced numbers here. Lazio plus 231, 100 wins you 231. Atalanta minus 315 to win 100. A lot of that is based on the second leg being at Atalanta. Inter are a big favorite because they're the best team in Italy, but Atalanta, I think, are a bigger favorite because they're good, better than Lazio, but because that second leg is at home. I'm not sure I'm interested in taking Lazio at this point, but I do like the underdog, and I do like the under. So those are things on my list potentially for Wednesday. And I think for the ultimate best bet nominee is another Wednesday play. I think I'll go... let's do the Lazio home underdog. Let's go... under, excuse me, underdog. Lazio. It's late. God, I'm losing my train of thought. Lazio quarter goal underdogs at home to Atalanta. Last one we'll go through the Coupe de France. We do have only three matches with lines, unfortunately, as BetOnline's been a little slow with lining Ligue 1 in France, not doing look ahead numbers or anything like that. We'll start with Strasbourg hosting Stade Reims, who were recently relegated to Ligue 2 this season or end of last season. It's currently Stade Reims, a three-quarter goal underdog with a ton of juice on Strasbourg right now, who have hired an English manager, have gotten a lot of respect from the marketplace despite their previous fleeing for Chelsea. I don't know what it would take for me to want to play Stade Reims here, but I think I need at least a +1. That's probably not even enough. Moving to Lorient, hosted Nice. Two teams going very opposite directions this season. Nice fighting relegation. Lorient coming up as a promoted side. Currently, Nice, they're playing a little bit better. They're quarter goal underdogs on the road at Lorient. Total in this one is 2 3/4. She's very heavily to under. We've seen a little bit of money come in on over, and we've seen Nice drop from half a goal underdog to a quarter of a goal. I would expect that to continue to move in that direction. Next, we'll go to Marseille hosting Toulouse. Currently, Marseille three-quarter goal favorites, at home with all the juice, probably one across other places in the marketplace. Toulouse total is 2 3/4, juiced very heavily to under right now. I lean to Toulouse. I'm waiting for them to get that +1. That would be certainly a much more comfortable play if you do have a full goal of insurance in your pocket. Those are Wednesday matches. We do have Lyon and Lens on Thursday, which should be a great matchup. Would love to see how much respect Lens is getting because they've had a great run in Ligue 1 so far this season. We'll see if that continues. For my best bet in the Coupe de France, let's go with Toulouse +1. It's out there across other places, and I'm sure it'll be available by the time matches kick off. So I'll put that on the list, and it's time for the ultimate best bet. Thank you for everyone being live here tonight. Appreciate that, of course. Don't really expect it because it's super late, but I love you for it, and hopefully we get some winners and bring you some in this direction going forward the rest of the season, especially tonight. Remind everyone the Need for Seeds College Basketball podcast with many different guests this past weekend, the week before that. We've gone Three-Headed Monster with A. Brooks Betts and more with Jack coming in with a big winner, a straight up winner on Texas Tech as 9.5-point underdogs. There'll be another episode of that on Friday for the Saturday action. We'll have, of course, more soccer stuff on this channel. And, of course, look out on pregame.com and Pregame Now Twitter account for my What I Bet episode or show coming out on as many weeknights as I can find time to do it. But for my best bets and the ultimate best bet portion of the show, you can find that on the Instagram and YouTube reels and shorts, respectively, at the real_G Warner on both those platforms. From English Premier League, let's go Newcastle at Pick'em. The Copa del Rey will go Real Sociedad as I wear their kit, or at least their crest. They're hosting Athletic Club Bilbao. Second leg of the Copa del Rey will go under 2 1/4 goals there. The Coppa Italia in Italy will go Lazio, quarter goal underdog in leg one right there. And then in the Coupe de France, let's go Toulouse, 1 goal underdogs. But for the ultimate best bet on this episode, we are going with Newcastle, a pick'em at home to Manchester United. Let's see if Manchester United can do this thing and get it done on the road. I don't think they can.